This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
Entertaining and informative.
Oh, you're my best friend.
77 WABC.
Are you confident that you can get a majority of your own conference to back this CR? And if not, are you worried that could crater some of the support for the speaker vote in January?
No, I'm not. Look, I'm not worried about the speaker vote. We're governing. Everybody knows we have difficult circumstances. We're doing the very best we can under those circumstances. With regard to the vote, yeah, I certainly hope and am working towards the majority of our group. One of the things I think that could be a factor in that is if we're able to push this forward through a rule, which I prefer, and allow for a pay-for a lot of this, then I think that is something that's important to a lot of our members. Look, we also recognize that in the midst of providing the aid and doing the things that the federal government is responsible for doing, we also have a large national debt. We're excited about the opportunity next year of having the DOGE effort underway and for going in and authorizing programs again instead of just appropriating and getting back to the basic functions of government so that we can reduce not only the size and scope of government, but the size and scope of the national debt as well. So all these are competing interests. All of them are balanced together. These are the hard choices that lawmakers have to make. But we will get the job done, as we always do. We will keep moving forward. And in January, we have a new lease on all this. So we're excited about that. Looking forward to that opportunity. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to all of you. I hope we don't see you here again before the end of the year. All right? Thanks so much.
Merry Christmas, I don't want to fight tonight with.
All right, there's the Speaker of the House. I love that guy, Mike Johnson. Talking about Doge, today is the first Doge caucus. And no, Tommy, I'm not, quote-unquote, sounding like Curtis. Nobody makes up my mind for me. Not Bernard, not Curtis, not Trump, not anybody. I've said nothing this morning. I've not said for the last 9 months. You claim you listen every day? I said the same thing today I've said for 9 months. The mayor is a phony Jew supporter. Phony. Nothing to do with Curtis. When it comes to the Jewish stuff, I take the lead, not Curtis. You couldn't pay me $5,000 in an appearance fees to go to the Gracie Mansion last night for that bogus Hanukkah party. That's me, Sid Rosenberg, same guy in the New York Times and the same guy that plans to talk to President Trump on the 28th next week in Mar-a-Lago. Get your story straight. Anyway, that was Mike Johnson yesterday. The news is mutiny. Here we go again. He's a great congressman, down to his last couple of weeks, but only the beginning for my friend Anthony D'Esposito. Tony, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, my friend, and congratulations on your honor last evening with the Suffolk PBA. Lou Civillo is a true patriot, and I'm glad that he recognized another true patriot.
Well, thank you for that. I did mention you last night, you and King and Cairo and all my Nassau County folks, Garbarino, but they came out big last night, like you mentioned, Lou Civillo, Ray Tierney. I had Thomas Kniff stop by. Jill Nicolini was fun last night, and it was just a terrific night. But I do want to get to this quote-unquote mutiny that may happen. I don't know who the players are. Matt Gaetz isn't there anymore, so something tells me my friend, and she is my friend, Marjorie Taylor Greene, may be at the head of this. So when we read and hear about this mutiny that Mike Johnson was forced to talk about yesterday, what specific House members are we talking about?
So I think that this is going to be a little bit unique in that there seems to be House members not only on the conservative end of the group, but also the moderates as well. There's a lot of concern. We had a meeting yesterday. There's a lot of concern about input from committees, about input from members, and where this entire CR was drafted up. But I think what we really have to do first is this was only released late last night. It's almost 1,600 pages. So anyone who has said they've read or staff has read the entire bill is lying, because there's no way that they read the whole entire bill overnight. But we're going to have to see what happens. I mean, like I've said to you, and we've had this conversation before, I think Mike Johnson has one of the toughest jobs in the world. I mean, he's governing with a very slim majority, one that's going to be even slimmer in the 119th Congress. And right now, we have to make a decision. Obviously, no one wants to continue to add to the deficit of the United States of America. But we also, do we want to put President Trump in the place where on day one, when he should be rolling up his sleeves and getting to work like he has been since Election Day, do we want to put him in the position where now the government is in a shutdown? So I think we have to look at the bill today. We have to have some serious conversations. We have to find out first if the votes are there, and then you have to look at what's in the bill. And I understand there's a lot of spending in a country that already has a tremendous deficit, but I mean, it's $100 billion for hurricane relief. Those are Americans that are suffering from natural disasters here in the United States of America. We've talked about shipping money overseas to other countries. This isn't it. I mean, there's $100 billion to hurricane relief, $30 billion to farmers, and one thing that is very important to me and me and Andrew Garbarino, and I know they're not our favorites, but Chuck Schumer and Gillibrand, I mean, we've been able to get the funding for the World Trade Center health bill in this as well. I mean, that's something that we've been fighting for and we've talked about. There is absolutely no reason why some of our friends, some of the people that I worked with, should be spending their last days on this earth on Capitol Hill fighting for money that they deserve. And the fact that money is in there and will fully fund the World Trade Center health bill is important.
So in wrapping up the CR conversation, though, and yes, great job with that health bill. I agree, Anthony, great job. What is the biggest problem, or what is the biggest contention from some of these House members? In the past, for example, Marjorie has said to me, look, I don't want Democrats getting anything, but of course, like you pointed out, with such a slim majority in the House, that's just not realistic. There's no way Mike Johnson can pass anything without, at least a little bit of compromise. What is the biggest issue here?
I think the biggest issue is probably the spending and the addition to the debt of the country. But like you said, I mean, there has to be some compromise, and very often, what we've seen is that we would all love to have a clean CR, which means it's just an independent bill of the continuing resolution of the spending that we already have, nothing added, nothing subtracted. But Mike Johnson needs the votes, and in order to get this across the finish line, there has to be some compromise. But like you mentioned, sometimes the people who are concerned about the spending, even if it was a clean CR, wouldn't vote for it anyway. So Mike Johnson's in a tough spot. But I think what we have to do this morning is we have to get together as a conference. Everyone needs to read the bill, and we need to figure out exactly what's in there and if there is anything that the Democrats are getting, because if it's things that are absolutely ridiculous that we don't need to be spending on, we should be negotiating to get rid of them. And then we have to see, if Speaker Johnson has the votes, and obviously his concern is that if they suspend the rules and it goes to the House floor without going through the Rules Committee, and this gets a little bit wonky, but what happens is you need 2/3 of the House, and obviously Mike Johnson's concern is that there's going to be more Democrats voting for it than Republicans, which then leads to the 119th Congress and the election of Speaker, where this could very well be used against them. Remember, you rewind back, and while it was probably an excuse, this is really what Matt Gaetz said triggered the vacating of the chair when Speaker McCarthy was there.
Yeah, no, I know. We're not that far removed from McCarthy being ousted, and Gaetz.
But I think I think what's most important is today we have to have a conversation with President Trump's team and see where the beginning of the year falls. Because again, I don't believe that we want to put the president in a position where he's starting day one with a government shutdown.
Agreed. I don't know what these people want. You ousted McCarthy. You tried for Jim Jordan. That didn't work. You tried for Stephen Scalise. That didn't work. Here comes Mike Johnson. I love Mike. Trump loves Mike. You love Mike. He's getting hammered like Kevin McCarthy. I don't know what House member is out there that's going to make people like Marjorie and like maybe Lauren Boebert. I don't even know who's complaining these days, but those are the usual suspects. I don't know who's out there that's going to make these people happy.
I don't think there are any. I think that when you're governing with such a slim majority, it gives certain people the ability to utilize that vote. And listen, we've done the same. I guess people could say the moderates have done the same. And I think in this situation, it's paid off. I mean, if you remember back in, we had some pretty heated conversations during the speaker vote when Jim Jordan was up for speaker. And one of the things that he didn't support, even back when Peter King was in office, one of the things that he didn't support was the 9/11 health care bill. And that was really one of the reasons as to why we didn't support him for speaker. And, it took us a year, but it seemed to have paid off, because if this gets across the finish line, the 9/11 health care bill will be funded till decades to come. And I think that's where negotiations, and that's where individuals have to realize that sometimes the people that are here and governing, and they are listening to the people that sent them here. And I think that this is one of those situations.
You haven't mentioned Peter King set to join me in about an hour this morning. Anthony, you know how close we are, obviously. So does my audience. This is it for 2024. We're down to 2 shows. So I want to wish you and your beautiful family a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I'm hoping for very, very big things for you in 2025. May not be in Congress, but will certainly be someplace else. And most importantly, thank you for your friendship. That means the most to me. Thank you, Anthony.
You too, brother. Absolutely. A beautiful a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a blessed New Year. And you are right. The best is yet to come. We have our family, our health. And we have Donald Trump in the White House. So we have a great 2025 ahead. And thank you as well for your friendship. Like I said, the best is yet to come for both of us.
I believe all that. I believe that's true. Anthony, thank you so much. There he is, my dear friend, Congressman Anthony D'Esposito.